Hit Season 2.
Look at that game. The biggest takeaway is that Solar was able to defend and survive and not die from the push. Like if he had taken a little bit more damage, it would have all been over. And he was like confident enough to keep going with the drop and not turn back.
Right, we've seen a lot of Zergs die from just not prioritizing their units to deal with everything, but Solar did it perfectly in game number 2, and that means with game 3 on New Gettysburg coming up, it all comes down to this.
It certainly does, Rapid. Let's jump into game number 3 to see who's going to the winner's match. In red to the bottom left of the map, it is Solar bringing us to a game 3. An amazing drop. And to the bottom right, his opponent in blue, Super. Having a big push there in that last game, not able to finish it off though.
All right, so getting into our third and final game of this matchup, a lot on the line for both of these players. They're both out of GSL right now, so that means that SSL is the tournament that's left for them. They can both play in, pro. Actually, no, they can't.
Pro League is over
for
these
League.
teams.
Yeah, man, this is their tournament. This is their lives on the line. For anyone out there that tells you the cake is a lie, they have not played Starcraft recently, still cannot get over how those tiny, tiny probes and drones can carry such big birthday cakes.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. Now, I'm all about celebration, but this is like still a bit weird to me that this happens in pro games.
I'm just surprised that, yeah, it carries over to the pro matches. I don't know how super serious it's like, I'm trying to make this epic, their lives are on the line. They're just carrying birthday cakes around. Like,
it's definitely like one of those things where someone is going to go back and look at the VODs of this like years later.
Like literally,
and be like,
why
what was going on with the cakes on this day? Like, was that a bug? What's happening?
I mean, I'm sure most people that played StarCraft 2 like woke up, they they drag themselves out of bed, and there's like a must-play ladder, and then they see all these birthday cakes, and they're still kind of waking up. They're like, wait, am I like still dreaming? Why are there birthday cakes here?
Yeah.
But no, it is a very happy birthday to StarCraft, and I think we can all be glad that it survives yet another year.
Yeah, I mean, StarCraft is what brought me to Korea. That's why I'm here, and I built a career basically from commentating this game, and it's very dear to my heart. And I'm so glad to see that we do have these like sort of celebrations. Again, don't know how I feel about it in pro play, but still awesome. And when I play my ladder games at home, I don't mind it a bit. So it's. By the way, this map is really interesting. Like, it's really evolved. Because the bridge is such a unique mechanic, because it's the risk that you take to go across that is sometimes you can get concaves at the other side, you can get trapped on it. Your units stack up, they can't move freely, but the gain is that you can, rush. The rush distance is much shorter. So there's like really a cool trade-off. Whoever thought that this idea really understands StarCraft 2 at the highest level, I think it was actually Jackie who made this map, and it's like, right, this is really cool stuff what we're seeing here. Like this map making, for a while maps were just kind of standardized, like, okay, everyone has to be able to take 4 bases, and like if they can't, it's like not fair, it's not interesting. No, we're in a new world of map making now where things are unique. We have the islands that have air blockers as well. It's like just a really cool map overall that clearly a lot of thought was put into, and it makes me excited to see more and more maps like these.
Yeah, I was actually really worried when New Gettysburg came out, because everybody was like, oh, it's so weird. We've got air blockers, island bases, and I mean, nobody really thought that these or knew exactly how these mechanics would affect these matchups, but it is super cool, and there are a lot of really interesting things that you can do. So for Protoss, you can actually get easy thirds and even maybe fourth just by taking those island bases, because generally you can do that a little bit more easily. We've seen some cool probe recalls to a Nexus that's built there with the mothership core and kind of cool things like that. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, lots of cool things you can do.
So Phoenix is an air controller, really important on this map, and the island type play you talk about normally happens in Protoss versus Protoss on this map, right? It has been seen in this matchup as well. Pretty rare, but it has happened. And the air control here that you give is so important when you have these rush distances that are so short. You can clean up the Overlords, you can maintain vision control, you can stop Baneling drops, which we do see the Evo Chamber and the Baneling Nest coming up now, so it's like, I think we're getting to that point where that's where we're headed here. They're even made next to each other. That's how well they pair together. This is actually a normal thing for Zergs to do just because it's like how their brains are thinking, like, okay, I'm getting ready for the Baneling drops.
So you used brains plural when we all know it's a hive mind wolf and all the Zerg players are collectively playing.
The Overmind.
There we go.
Yeah, all Zerg players play together.
It's true. When you have ZVZs, is actually just the Overmind like playing favorites and deciding who they want to win.
I swear that the Zerg fans are actually just one hive mind when I see them posting on the forums.
No, man, that's Reddit, man.
Yeah, they're all connected. Like, turns out like it turns out that the Reddit bots are actually all Zerg. This is a strong push, by the way. There's not that many lings here. In fact, there are only 6, and this is, again, the bridge. This is the power of the bridge. Like, this normally doesn't happen, but when you can just literally waltz across the map and be at the other side in no time at all, this kind of push is very effective. Look at this angle as well. The Zerglings can't get a full surface surround here. And this is, like, going to be a hold, but it's just forced so many lings and so many drones were killed that this ends up being a really good trade for Super overall.
Oh, and he's actually going to get one queen in here, re-droning, so Solar thinks that he has held this, and he does have a lot of Zerglings going across that very short rush distance on the bridge for a counter.
And this counterattack here should be shut down pretty hard. He's got walls set up. Even this pylon here is placed because it can actually be used to overcharge and help deal with those links. So even committing to that isn't necessarily a good idea. Looks like he is going to take that that chance and go in here. There's no mothership core nearby. There's the overcharge I was talking about. Definitely way too late on that one, but still. Cleans that up to try to maybe have a better follow-up later on with his Hydra Baneling build he's doing. Once the Phoenixes came out, he couldn't commit to the Baneling drop, but he is going to be going for Hydra range, Baneling +1, and we'll see if he goes ahead and grabs the Baneling speed, because that's going to be one of the big parts of this build. And Super is powering up right now. He's going to deny this Overseer, just continue to shut down scouting. There's the Baneling speed. So we're going to see that that push that we saw yesterday in the GSL. It's very popular right now.
Yeah, 4th base just now coming up for Solar, and after dealing with that early aggression pretty effectively, he's in a good place right now. Does have to watch out for these Phoenixes in case they get too many or too much value, but it does appear as if there are or should be enough Hydras out on the map to distribute between the 2 bases or the 3 bases that are up right now and limit that effectiveness. We do have a drop coming into the main with 4 Adepts. Will there be enough to stop this? A few Zerglings there to defend, but he'll need those Banelings to hit some good connections.
Yep, the pickup range is really nice right now in Legacy of the Void in the current patch, so you can grab these Adepts and basically escape Baneling hits, pick up in the land. He's got so many Phoenix here to support. He's baiting Hydras into this, but there's too many. He will have to back off, but this is, again, well worth it. And like I always talk about this with Phoenixes, but this gives him the full information that the Hydra push is coming. He's like, oh, you committed to that many Hydras? I know just what to expect. He's going to start his Robotics, the second one, and he has this setup where he's setting up to fight where the Hydras can't abuse their range, because normally what a Hydra is, oh, this is unfortunate. He's gonna have to break out, but Hydras are going to abuse the positioning of these bases and use the Nexus against Super.
Wait, that's the okay. So there are more pylons powering that, but yeah, he is gonna have to break out to free the Immortals. So the Immortals now out, but is this push going to be strong enough? A ton of Hydralisks forcing a cancel on that 4th. Actually taking the forward 4th instead of going up with that, so a little bit optimistic there from Super.
He wants to use this choke point to force off the Hydras and then back off and fight in this open expanse here, but the Hydras are already through that point. He's going to use these 2 forward pylons here to overcharge. They will go down almost immediately, and he's going to give up control of his 3rd base location.
Baneling's morphing on the ramp. Here come the force fields, but are they good enough? No, huge arc of Hydralisks. Although there's a nice Guardian Shield keeping that Protoss army alive, but just not enough units here for Super. Solar could do it with this push, but not overextending, backing up, morphing Banelings, getting ready to go again.
This is a very powerful push, and he decided to fight outside of the high ground, which I think there are good arguments for, but it didn't work out for him in this case. He's going to lose that 3rd base now, and I think he's just going to lose his army. He's got so many sentries here, but who cares? Hydras are like the counter to sentries. They shoot over force fields. They keep getting hit by Banelings.
Oh my god, so many Baneling hits. Instant GG. Solar takes our first best of 3, 2-1.
This push has to be respected. There's so many variations of it. This is the basically the mass Hydra version. He wanted to fight away from his third because if you get caught up at the top of your ramp at a weird angle, you can't actually get a concave, and the Hydras do. And even though you're on the high ground, you're defensively having like an advantage because you're like actually fighting like with the pylons on the high ground. You're up there. You kind of get cut in this position where your wall works against you, and not all your units can fire and spread out, and the Hydras are getting fanned out. So I think he wanted to fight down there using force fields, but he let the Hydras go through the only choke point he could have zoned out with. Then he had like so many sentries which didn't do DPS, and then they got hit by Banelings anyways
because he all died. Yeah,
because he fought in the open area where like the Banelings actually will connect. So. Like, I kind of see what he was trying to do there. Like, I kind of like it. He's like, oh, I'm not going to let you abuse these Hydras like everyone else is right now. Like, we see it happen on Frost all the time, Dark Date yesterday. But it didn't work out. Like, it was, I almost felt like it was some experimentation. Like, okay, we fight out here, I win it. But it was too strong of a push, too big of a commitment, too many Hydras there.
Right, and he was taking his fourth base forward towards the Zerg player who
that was
had
definitely a mistake.
Much better army than he did.
He should have taken the one to the top right. That was like absolutely wrong. I think.
And then once he was forced to cancel all of that, that's tons of minerals lost, and you could really tell he was actually banking 1,000 minerals before that last fight that we saw there. So it's like, well, you kind of got to spend those on units. It's like, well, how do you lose the game? So, and well, all your stuff dies. So definitely what happened there at the end. That's my advanced analysis, Wolf.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty spot on there. Definitely should have been taking that base. But guys, before we go into our second best of 3 of the night, we are going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back.